Hi everyone, welcome to Natural Wonders. I've got a really nice painting that I'm going to do for you today. It's going to be a wet on wet oil painting. I'm going to be doing a painting of the Yosemite National Park in California. So I'm really looking forward to doing this one. It's a beautiful day here. Just run the colours across the screen that you're going to need to paint along with us. So let's get stuck into this one. What I've done is I've just put a thin even coat of liquid white over the top half of the canvas and over the bottom area. Right, so I'm just going to tap into that phthalo blue, just straight phthalo blue on its own. Distribute the paint through the bristles evenly, and then just in this area, just in here, we've got a bit of sky showing through, so I can just apply a little bit of that colour just into there and a little bit up into there as well. But I don't want it to be ultra crazy, so I'm leaving little gaps where the clouds are going to be, and as it mixes with this liquid white, I actually allow it to get a bit lighter on the horizon area. There, something about like so. So I'm just putting the colour right first. That's all I'm worried about. That's all I'm thinking about. Just put some of that phthalo blue up. Now, with that mauve that I created, lavender, sorry, I'm just going to tap into that lavender colour. A lovely lavender hue I've got up in there. And with that lavender hue, I'm just going to come up above it. You see that? And it's going to create this lovely contrast against it, right up into that top corner. And I want this to actually mix slightly with the phthalo blue. Cool. A lot of this is going to just disappear anyway. Again, I'm going to tap into that dark colour again. So over in here, we've got a lot of that dark. I'm just allowing some of this lavender colour just to go through there, and then into the top of that as well, just in there. And as we blend this, you will find that it's going to mix with the blues and the liquid white, and it'll slightly get lighter as we go along. So I'm just going to come into this bluey area where I put the phthalo blue before. I'm just going to touch a bit of that lavender just up into that, just a little bit, and maybe just a bit down into there as well. Very little in this area. Great, I'm really happy with how this one's coming on so far. I love these kinds of skies that you get over there. It's absolutely gorgeous. Just in here it wants to get lighter, so I'm allowing it to mix with the liquid white a little bit more. And I'm using them crisscross strokes, the X's. Exaggerate that. That's the way I blend. It's one of the best ways I've found to blend these oil paints. It's magical. It's amazing how soft you can get it there. Now I'm just going to use a 1 1/4 inch brush. I always give them a tap first because it helps get any hairs out that you don't want in there. And then I'm going to start off in this lower area. I said I want it to be a lot lighter on the horizon, so I can just gently blend them areas together. That's it. Same up in there, gently blend them together, but it'll still look slightly lighter. So I'm going to put some clouds in there, you see, a bit later. And then just blend up into that, right into this area, and just blend everything together that you've just done. Really nice and soft. Taking out any excess brush strokes. I like to have brush strokes in there, I really do, but just not too distinct. I like them to be quite subtle. A lot of drama to this sky, and then when we come along and put those clouds in there, that will be really dry, really dramatic. smart. Right, something about like so. And blend up into these darker areas a tiny bit as well. Just up in there. Love it. Now I'm going to get this bigger brush. I'm just going to go gently, one hair and some hair. I'm just going to gently blend across some of that. Just with the sides of the bristle, sides of the brush, I'm doing this. There. Now, we have got some clouds in here, so I'm just going to use it. These old brushes, really cheap, about £1.99 for a full set, and I use them a lot. They really are good. Now, I'm just going to get some titanium white. There. Straight titanium white, both sides of the brush. And then with that, I'm just going to come up in here and I'm just going to indicate some little wispy clouds and stuff that are going on up in here. Got one just in there. You notice I'm allowing it to mix with that blue underneath, but it should just about stand out. Sometimes it's a good idea. I'm just going to get a piece of paper and put that down at the side of me so that I can just wipe it off every time. Because what happens is, in wet on wet, you will pick up the blue from underneath. So just by doing this and reloading again, when you come back in there, it will really, look at that, really stand out nice. I like a wispy effect of these, so I'm pulling them at a certain angle to try and achieve that desired effect. Same up in here, there's a little bit of something going on. There. Smart. So much enjoy doing these beautiful skies. Love painting clouds. Now again, we've got some wispy ones just going on up in the dark area up in here. So keep certain areas of it light, and then I'll blend some of it into this. See that? You can actually just blend some of that into that. And what that'll do is it'll give you some little wispy effects and stuff going on up in there, a little separate from the cloud itself. Again, you will pick up that blue, but you just tap it out and then reload. Just up in here, we've got a big cloud. That's why I left that area quite light, just in there, so that we could get this colour in for this cloud nice and easy, without fighting too much against the blue. There. A little bit of a different way to how you've seen me doing clouds before, which is great. I want to show you loads and loads of different ways of being able to do these wonderful clouds. Now just up in there again, I'm just going to make it a smidgen brighter, just in parts. And then we've got some wispy stuff just up in here going on. So you can just touch some white up into that, into those areas. Yeah. A lot happens when you come back with your blender brush when you're doing this. I'm just trying to get general shapes. Now I know that we've got some clouds that are coming down into this area as well, just in there. So I'll just use that white, allowing it to mix again with the blue slightly, and then you can just block that in. There. Something about like that. Back to my white again. And then just over in here we've got one that flings its way through like so. See that? Love that shape. And then above we've just got some little things as well going on in there. Right off the canvas with that one. And then that sort of like mists itself away slightly. up in this top corner, over in here. We've got one as well, just there. Oh yeah. Don't want it to have just a flat bottom though, so I'm going to put a few little stuff, bits and things going on underneath that. Now I want this to actually come right up into there and block part of this top edge in, and it's good is this because you've got the contrast against the dark that's up there, so it will stand out really well. Just let some of them just wisp off just on the edges, maybe a few little bits in there. There we go, love it. Right, so I need to just get a clean brush again. I've still got the one that I used from before, which has just got a tiny bit of colour on there. I'm going to tap that out. I'm just going to come up in here and I'm going to just gently fluff up some of these lovely clouds that we've got painted on there. See that? Just soften them. Go right over them as well. But you've just got to be gentle, don't go with too much pressure. It's all about the pressure is this. Too much pressure and the colour will begin to mix again with the undercolour, with the blue. Go right across that, make it soft. Same up in here, just go straight across them. A lot of these won't even be there because of the mountain, so I just wanted to indicate the softness of them. Same over in here, just gently, just go over them, softly, and now just mist away, so you can only just see it. Just want to be able to see that, just. Same up in here. Right, so I'm very happy with that sky. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to come back down, same brush that I used for the blue at first. I'm going to touch a bit more blue into that, some phthalo blue, and then remember what I did up here? I'm going to do the same thing but in the water basically, just down in this area. So we've got a bit of summer going on in there, just the same as what we had up there. And then again I want to put a bit of that blue just going on around here into this. Sometimes I like to pop a bit of that blue back up into them areas as well, but I'm pretty happy with how that's turned out. So now I'm just going to go into my darker colour, which is the lavender, crimson and blue together, and then just in here I want some dark spots, quite dark. Just going to actually change the camera for you all. Now again, I want this to mix with the liquid white, I really do. Allowing it to mix with that blue that's in there. Darker on the edges. And then it'll mix up into that blue. This liquid white is wonderful to work with though, it really is. It just makes everything so nice and easy. And then blend all this out into the blue. Gently just let it blend together with that phthalo blue that we put in there. The liquid white will stay wet for up to 2 to 3 days. If you're in a really dry country, it might dry a little bit quicker within a couple of days or something like that, a day. Just depends how hot it is in the area where you live. There. Something about like so. I'm happy with that. Now in the water I won't be painting the clouds in. I'll be just indicating them with light, because they're very, very subtle, is this water. Very subtle. But the important thing is continuing on the colours from the sky and making them more or less identical in the water. Brilliant. Just up in there a bit. Just bring a bit of that down there. So you can go back into these areas with wet on wet. You don't have to do a sky and say, right, that's it, finished, not going to touch it again. You don't have to do that with this. Wet on wet allows you to be able to go back in as much as you like, basically. You can overwork it though, so do be careful.